Welcome back to another edition of Weekly Sports Talk. Alongside Khalil Brown and our special guest Bennett Ford, I'm Jared Hilton. Northern Iowa played Drake on Sunday night, defeating them 66-52 in the McLeod Center. How'd you see the Panthers playing in that game? They really came out. They had a big lead for a while. They started the second half off really well. Then it looked like things might have started to slip for them later, but they were able to hold on to Drake.
Yeah, Jared, you and I came out as a good team in the second half. They've been struggling lately, having big leads, leaving the first half. Couldn't hold them against Bradley and other teams. Really held it together against Drake, a young team, inexperienced in the league. Seth Tuttle had a good night in the paint, scoring lots of points, getting lots of rebounds, and that's what you and I has been striving to do lately. Make free throws, make shots, make three-pointers, and get rebounds is kind of the big goal for you and I this year.
Tonight, Northern Iowa was on the road at Indiana State, where they'll have another conference game, looking to pick up another win there, get another conference win, keep moving up the polls.
Indiana State, young team, inexperienced. Generally, they have.
Tonight, Northern Iowa is going on the road at Indiana State, where they're going to be looking to pick up another conference win to keep moving up the polls.
UNI is currently sitting at 6th in the MVC, not somewhere that they're normally used to. Indiana State is a young team, inexperienced. Should be a pretty decent win for UNI.
Iowa's last loss was at Purdue. They lost that game by a score of 75-68. Purdue, not a bad team. They're pretty good, really, and Iowa played pretty well hanging with them, but in the end, Purdue came out and picked the win up. How'd you see Iowa playing in that game, and what are you going to see next in their game against Nebraska?
Iowa's been a team as of lately kind of inconsistent. They've had a couple really good wins versus coming against teams like Minnesota and Michigan, things like this. But, Purdue's a pretty good team, though. Big Ten's a really good conference this year in basketball. They have a couple teams in the top 25, But that conference, you got to come up ready to play every game, a game in and a game out. But versus Nebraska, it's going to be a pretty tough game. It always is versus Nebraska now, a newly acquired Big Ten team. It's going to be a tough game versus them. But I think Iowa, if they come out and they play good, especially playing at home, they should be able to get that win and hopefully just move on and keep getting better in the Big Ten.
Iowa State was on the road at Texas last night, losing by a score of 62-55. Texas is a really pretty good team. Iowa State just wasn't able to hang in there with them long enough, and Texas came out, pulled out the victory. How did you see Iowa State playing in that game? And next game against Kansas, going against a very experienced, very talented Kansas team. What are you going to look for out of them, and what do you think they're hoping to do there?
Well, Texas and Kansas have something very, very well in common. They're both really talented and well-recruited teams. They just have too much talent for Iowa State to handle. Texas, always a good team in the Big 12. Kansas generally wins the Big 12.
Yeah, Texas is a really talented team. They've had some tough games, the last couple of games. So, they really were coming out versus Iowa State, really wanting this win. Big 12 is also a really good conference. A couple really good teams. Now Iowa State has to travel, and they play at home. Versus Kansas. Kansas is a really good team, top 10 in the country. They'll be really good. Have some talented stars and Tyshawn Taylor and Thomas Robinson. But Iowa State's a pretty good team led by Royce Wright. But they're going to have to come out playing really hard and, execute, X's and O's versus Kansas if they want to get a win. But it's going to be tough. But, they have a shot at doing it.
Last night, the Cedar Falls boys and girls teams were in action. The boys were at home playing the Mason City Mohawks. They pulled that victory out by 20 points. You guys really looked like you had things under control. You looked really comfortable. What are you going to look for in the next game, and how did you think you guys played last night?
Yeah, I thought we played really well. We hadn't had a game in over a week, so we were just anxious to get out there, be back on the court, especially playing at home, get our crowd involved and everything. But, yeah, it took a couple minutes to get started, get going in that game. But, yeah, I thought we played really well. got in transition, got out, played a really good help side defense, and just played as a team. You know what I mean? That's what we need to do. Go out and execute like that every night. And we just played really good basketball. And hopefully this next game we play East Friday, who they have couple of players back from suspension and everything coming back out, so they'll be pretty good. They've stuck with teams like Dubuque Senior and Linn-Mar, and they've been playing pretty good basketball actually of lately, even though they've had some tough losses. So come out and play good versus them. And Waverly, who's a top 3 team in 3A, we got to come out, play really good basketball back-to-back nights. So hopefully we can do that and just execute and keep getting better as we get closer to state.
Yeah, East is really a better team than what their record would indicate. They have a lot of talent there, a lot of guys who very special players that they can work with. And the girls team was on the road at Iowa City West last night. They're ranked number 1 in the state. They were beat by 25 points. What are you looking for out of the girls team? I mean, obviously playing a very talented team like Iowa City West. How'd you see them play, and what are they going to be looking to do the rest of the season?
Yeah, our girls team is really talented, can really hit some shots. Kaz Brown is wreaking havoc in the paint, blocking shots. I mean, they have the ability to win games. They just have to come out ready and prepared, and they should be able to win a game.
And last week we made our predictions for who would make it to the Super Bowl. Bennett being the only one right, picking the Patriots and the Giants. So now we're going to make some Super Bowl predictions and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, going into the Super Bowl, we have the Patriots and the Giants rematch of a couple years ago. I think the Patriots have the up hand on talent and players and skill players. But I do want to see the Giants pull it out and win. I'm always a guy for the underdog. I think it's going to be the Giants over the Patriots.
Yeah, I agree. I want to see the Giants win too, just like they did a couple years back when David Tyree had that amazing catch. So I'm looking forward to this Super Bowl. It should be a great one, just like it was a couple years ago. But I'm hoping the Giants can pull it out.
Yeah, being a diehard Cowboy fan, it's kind of hard to fall on either sides of the spectrum here. Really not a big Giants fan, division rivals there. And then with the Patriots, I'm not a big Belichick fan either. Not exactly the classiest guy in pro football, and so I don't really know where I like that. So I'll go with the Giants. I do like what they have going there. I like Eli Manning. Tom Brady a little bit better, but I think Eli Manning has more weapons to work with, and he's been there before. He's beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl before. I like the Giants.
The Giants, like their Super Bowl run and win against the Patriots a couple years back, they had numerous wins on the road during the playoffs. I think they played every game in the playoffs on the road. Shows they have some resilience in them, and they want to win the Super Bowl.
For another edition of Weekly Sports Talk, alongside Khalil Brown and Bennett Ford, I'm Jared Hilton.